क्या बताऊं मकाम ज़ैनब का, क्या बताऊं मकाम ज़ैनब का, क्या बताऊं मकाम ज़ैनब का, इसमें आज़म है नाम ज़ैनब का।
हस्बुनल्लाहु व निअमल वकील, निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। वस्सलातु वस्सलाम अला अशरफिल अंबिया वल मुरसलीन सय्यदना व मौलाना अबुल क़ासिम मुहम्मद व अला आलिहि अत्तय्यबीन अत्ताहिरीन अल-मासूमीन सिय्यमा बक़ियतुल्लाहिल आज़म रूही व अरवाहुल आलमीन लहुल फ़िदा। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली। I just went out to look at the snow because it doesn't snow in LA, and I was trying to enjoy the snow, and they called me in. So the question is Islam against enjoyment and having fun? This is obviously a question I raise because a lot of times we don't pay attention to the natural needs that Allah has created in us, so that those needs, that nature that we have in us can actually lead to Allah. And a lot of times, instead of paying attention to those things in order to grow in our faith, we end up paying attention to things that really do not have that much effect. So again, the question is, and a lot of kids are here, I see today, it's Friday, which is good. Are you allowed to have fun in Islam? Is it okay to have enjoyment? See, the question itself is a little bit misleading, because a lot of times people think that it's not good to have fun. It's something that must be restricted. It's something that must be contained. We should not let go of it, otherwise it will lead us away from the right path or from Allah. But when we actually look at it, it seems that not only does Allah allow us to have fun, but He demands that we have fun. He demands that we enjoy. Not only is He saying, oh, you're allowed to do this. No, He's saying that I demand that you enjoy. You see, this is where we need to truly understand our relationship with Allah. Let me start off over here, if you understood what I'm saying regarding fun. Because a lot of times these concepts that are natural to us are so foreign because they haven't been taught in that way. Even though Allah has taught that in the Quran and Ahlul Bayt have shown that to us. But somehow we took these things in a very superficial way. And then we concentrate on the wrong things, trying to think that this is what's going to build faith in us, or our iman is going to grow through things that are not intended for the iman to grow. Like, for example, people think that if you pray, your iman is going to grow. And they pray a lot, but they see that their iman doesn't grow with prayers. Or, for example, they try to fast, and they think that by doing fasting, that our iman is going to grow. But you see that Allah did not make fasting for iman to grow. The things that are there, Allah has put in us for our iman to grow and for us to build relationship with Allah, are completely different. Let me just start off by first hearing a salawat from you. The question Allah is asking everyone, I'm saying everyone in the world, is why are you not having fun? Why are you not enjoying? The Arabic word is lazzat. This is a question that Allah is asking everyone. Why are you not having fun? Why are you not enjoying? You see, this is where the relationship is going to be built. Because and that's what I want to get across. Hopefully, this is going to be the start. Maybe in the next 2-3 speeches, I might be able to cover the subject. But it's a very interesting subject. It's a very natural subject. And you will see what I'm talking about, how important this is in our life. People live their life in a way that they are miserable, and they try to cover it up by becoming religious. And that religion that they practice really is not helpful for them, because all it does is it makes them more hard-hearted and makes them more demanding. The way that Allah wanted us to live our life and to practice Islam is so natural that if we actually look at it, we'll be like, wow, that was easy. Why didn't we do this? And Ahlul Bayt wanted us to know that and understand that. I'll read some riwayat for you later on as we go forward, but right now, just the concept that we want to discuss. Let's send a loud salawats. So just some things, for your thought. Just ideas for your thought. You see, if Allah did not want us to have fun, did not want us to enjoy, that would be so easy. It would be such an easy excuse for shaitan to misguide us. Because if Islam is going to be dry and it's going to stop you from having fun and enjoyment, then all shaitan had to do is to come and say, hey, listen, your life is miserable. Come over here to my side. That's where the party is. You're going to enjoy it there. And everyone will be like, yeah, it is like that. And they go there. And they would have gone there if Allah had said that. But Allah is saying the other way. He's saying, no, I made you to enjoy, and I demand that you have fun and enjoy. Now, obviously, what I'm saying, for some youngsters might be new. Maybe elders might have heard this before somewhere. But really, some things, that we need to actually pay attention to and how this has happened. This issue is so important to such an extent that if you seize for one moment, if you do not have fun in your life, if you don't enjoy one moment of your life, that moment is where you are disconnected from Allah. If a person doesn't enjoy, it means that he's disconnecting himself from Allah. He's breaking his relationship with Allah. This is to that extent how important this subject is to us as human beings. If you are not having fun, then that moment that you're not having fun is the time that you are disconnected from Allah, meaning that you break your relationship with Allah and Ahlul Bayt. That one moment that you don't have fun. Seeking pleasure is so important in Islam that every moment that a person, he should be living his life with a high spirit, having fun. Not only that he should have fun, he should let others enjoy also. It is said that a mu'min is someone who brings a smile to other people's face. He makes other people enjoy their existence. Not only is he enjoying it, but he wants others to enjoy it also. A mu'min has that characteristic that when you see him, you feel good. You feel like smiling. It's addictive. The smile that he has on his face is addictive. You're like, wow, this is the case. I remember one time, long time ago, it was in 1987 in Chicago, we were having an Islamic seminar in the masjid, the local masjid. They had invited some ulama there and all these things. So I was just a student then, and we were sitting with some of the ulama there, and we were talking to him, and there was, it was a very jolly conversation. We were having this and that. Then what happened is that one of the brothers, he came there, and he said that, listen, he saw these two, no names, two ulama, who were looking sad, and not just sad, angry. They were like on the side, and they're looking angry, What's wrong with them? Because he was saying that, isn't Islam saying that we should smile and be happy? Why are they so upset? So we're looking at this, brother, go and ask them. Why are you asking me for? Why are they upset? So what happened is that he went there and he asked them, and right away they got angry at him. Who are you to say that, we're Maulanas, whatever, that should happen. And a lot of time it is true. I mean, why are you not happy? Because if you really understood your situation, you would be smiling all the time. You would be so happy. Your life would be like that. And that's a moment. Moment has tabassum on his face, a smile on his face. Why? Because not because he's acting. He's not for example, someone who works at Walmart or Best Buy, that you're paid to smile, No, he's actually enjoying his existence, and he's having fun, and it shows in his face. He is smiling. And this is really important for us to know that. Salawats ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I'll make this statement, inshallah later on I'll explain it, the purpose of our creation. What do you think is the purpose of our creation? I'm not going to answer that today, right? Maybe some other day. But right now, why do you want to go to Jannat for? What is the purpose of going to Jannat? For Jannah. You want to go to Jannah, right? I mean, hopefully that is your goal, right? You want to end up in Jannah. You don't want to end up in the other place. Right? We all agree on that? You want to Jannah. What do you want to go to Jannah for? To be miserable? To be unhappy? I mean, the whole purpose of going to Jannah is to enjoy, is to have fun. Isn't that the purpose of going to Jannah? Look at that, and then from there we understand how important it is. I'm just saying how important it is to have fun. I'll go in detail, as I said, but I want you to understand the subject first. Salawats. Not only is having fun important, but you see, it's not even restricted. There are no restrictions in having fun. You see, this is hard to understand, right? A lot of people are like, what are you talking about? Astaghfirullah, There has to be some restrictions, We can't just let things go on. No. Because this is your nature, Allah cannot stop your nature. If He has included this in our nature, how can He say that now there are restrictions for it? He can't. It has to reach its ultimate peak. Its ultimate height is going to be reached there. So there are no restrictions there. But then you can say that, well, if that was the case, then why did Allah make life so hard? Why is life so complicated? You know that life is hard, and it's difficult, and there are sufferings in life. You know it on the first of the month when you get all the bills. And then you know that life is hard, right? Those bills don't stop. It just comes on, right? So now, if life is hard, then why did Allah make life so hard? My friends, really, the reason life is complicated is for your enjoyment. Look at it that way. The reason life is complicated and hard, you see, it's difficult. It's not easy. For children, yes, it's easy because you're just being fed. And you have a bed, and you have Xbox, right? So that's fun for you. It's okay. But you know what? Here's the issue, right? When you are going to go through life, you will see it's difficult. The older you grow, the more difficult it's going to become. Life is going to get complicated. Relationships are complicated. Life itself is complicated. Growing is complicated. Health and health issues are complicated. So many things come about. Why did Allah create life in that way if He wanted us to have fun? My friends, life's complications are there for us to enjoy. If Allah didn't create these complications in life, life would be boring and miserable. When I was a kid, we didn't have Xbox or PlayStation 4. We had Atari. You know, I'm sure you haven't heard about Atari at all, or Magnavox. Have you heard of Magnavox? It used to be the first video games that came out, Atari and Magnavox. You will see them in the Museum of Video Games, in the ancient section, right? When I was a kid, we used to play that. And I remember the first game that I played was a driving game. And the driving game was that you are just in a car, and you're driving a car, and that's it, it just goes on. And you're driving and driving, nothing comes, there's no accidents, there's nothing being shot at you, you're not shooting anyone else, there's no challenges at all, you're just driving. I mean, if I give that game to my son today who plays GTA 5, you know, and if he plays that game, even for 5 minutes, he'll say, this is retarded. Right? This is retarded, what is this? You know, there's no excitement. You see, you add the challenges in the game, you add the complications in the game so that the game can be interesting and you can have fun playing it. You can have fun playing it. Life is a game. وَمَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَهْوٌ وَلَعِبٌ. The life of this world is only a game. And a game, if it doesn't have challenges, it would be boring. Imagine every morning doing the same things, every night doing the same things. It will be so monotonous that we'll all be taking antidepressant pills, right? And this is what happens with life. These challenges are there for our enjoyment, so that we can enjoy those challenges. Any issue that we have in life, whether it's health issues, relationship issues, divorce, whatever it is, you see, these are meant for what? So that we are not bored, that we can have fun with these challenges. But we don't view them because we don't view them in the right way, we end up being overwhelmed by them and depressed by them and be miserable in these situations. If we understood that these are curveballs Allah is throwing so that we can enjoy our time at bat, then you know what? Every moment will be enjoyable for us. And Allah wants us to enjoy. Salawats ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. My friends, we owe it to Allah to enjoy this life. You know what that means? This is a debt that Allah has on us. He demands it. If we don't enjoy, Allah is asking, why are you not enjoying? We owe it to Him. I don't know, where do you take your kids to have fun in Salt Lake City? I don't know. You know, I don't know, because I know let's say, you know, parents go to Disney or Six Flags. I don't know, what do you have here? You know? Skiing. Okay, let's say skiing, I don't know, you know. I don't know how much the kids enjoy skiing. His parents are more forcing them, ski, you know. But the issue is that, let's say you take them to Disney, right, say. You know, you come to LA, be my guest, go to Disney, right? But here's the problem with Disney, it costs a lot of money, right? A ticket there costs $100. So, you will do it for your children, right? So you take your children to Disney, you pay lots of money to go there, and now when the children are in Disney and in this park, and if they're in the park in the middle of the day, they look bored, they look miserable, they are upset. What would you say to them? What's wrong with you? I mean, I brought you here to have fun, to enjoy, right? Why aren't you having fun? Why are you not having fun? My friends, look at this, look at that sentiment that you would have with your children if they're not enjoying. This is the same sentiment that Allah has with people when He brings them into this world, showers them with blessings, and if they're not happy, He says, why are you not happy? Did I not give you enough? I mean, what is it that's not making you happy? Why are you not enjoying right now? Look at this reality. Think about it for a minute. Salawats ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So, just in case, right? Enjoyment and pleasure, seeking pleasure, lazzat, is natural to us. Allah wants us to have pleasure. He wants us to enjoy. He wants us to fulfill these desires. Do that, enjoy that, so that we can build our relationship with Allah. And this is what we need to now look at. A lot of people got the wrong idea of Islam. And they thought that no, Islam is here to restrict our enjoyments here in this dunya so that we can enjoy there. My friends, it doesn't work like that. That's not how growth is made. And this is the short-sightedness of people who speak and they don't understand the profound nature that Allah has created us with. He made us in such a way that no, our growth depends on enjoyment. And I will explain that to you. Well, you know what? I don't want to keep it for the next speech. I guess I'll have to explain this to you now so that I don't leave you for 2 weeks and you'll be like, wait, where are you going? No, I will let you know this, so that you enjoy it. But first, let me just explain some things for you, this wrong idea that we have regarding Islam restricting us. No, it's not the case, my friends. Restrictions are in place because of certain specific situations, not because it's normal. Restrictions that are in place wherever enjoyment is concerned is only because of specific situations. For example, you all heard the hadith and the riwayat of a person who came to Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. And he asked the Imam, he says that, because the Imam was wearing normal clothes, not extravagant clothes, but good clothes, right? He was wearing good clothes. So what happened is that the person asked the Imam, and he said to him that your father Ali used to wear woolen coarse clothes that poor people wear. And he used to eat hardened food. And look at you. How bad is your example that you're wearing these good clothes and living this good life? He told this to Imam, right? You heard about that riwayat, right? And I'm just repeating it for you so that you can get that in your mind. Now the Imam answered back to him. This is interesting to see this. When you look at the example of Imam Ali, and that's where a lot of people make mistake. They look at the example of Imam Ali and think that is the norm. That's the way it should be. Right? What Imam Ali did is the example for everyone, and everyone should follow that. Live a strict life, an austere life, and a pious life like that, and that's the way Islam wants you to live your life and be like that. This person came with the same notion, and he accused Imam Sadiq of not being a good follower of Imam Ali, and that changing his way and wearing good clothes, living a good life, and eating good food. So what happened, Imam then replied back to him. You know the reply he gave back to him, right? Listen, it's very interesting. Imam is explaining to him now, he said, listen, my grandfather Ali was the leader, the Khalifa, the leader of the people. The people had a direct relationship with him, to approach him, to come to him for their needs. He was the government, he is the governor, he is the king. He had that position where he had relationship, and the people needed to access him. And because of the situation that he was in, he needed to make himself accessible to the people, to be with the people, to let the people know that I am with you as your leader. And hence, because of that, his lifestyle had to be adjusted in order to be a leader. when you are the leader of the people, when you are the Khalifa, when you are the king, then you need to make yourself accessible, and you don't need to let the people be embarrassed of coming to you. Imagine if you're the king and living in a palace, and that subject of yours lives in a hut. That guy is going to be scared just to come and approach you. Oh my God. He'll be so scared just to even approach you, let alone ask for your needs. He'll be like, who am I and who is he? But if the king lives in a hut just like me, then it would be so accessible for me to approach him. You see, this is what happened. Let's say, if the alim who comes here, if the ruhani who comes here, if, for example, if he lives in a mansion and drives a Lamborghini and comes to the masjid in his Lamborghini, and he has a special place where the parking spots next to him, you can't park because you might scratch his car, obviously you will be a little bit subdued to even approach him to ask a question or for any need. It's just natural. So the person who's there in charge, he must be someone who is accessible to the people. Imam Ali had that direct role when he was there. We are subjugated to being subjects, Imam Sadiq. In other words, he was not the Khalifa, he was not the king, he was not the ruler. He was a subject. And hence, Imam is explaining that Imam Ali's practice and his deen is not the normal practice of deen. That is adjusted according to his role. What I am doing is what Islam wants us to do. This is the norm. This is normal. Living your life, enjoying Allah's blessings, this is the normal practice of Islam. And hence he's explaining that. Imagine this. And now let me just say a hadith from Imam Ali so that we understand this better. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Imam, although his practice was, what Imam Ali's practice was, I just told you that, right? But then he gives instructions to Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr, who he had appointed as the governor of Egypt. And he gave instructions to him. Those instructions are available in Nahjul Balagha. You can read that in the letter section. Instructions that Amir al-Mu'mineen gave to Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr when he appointed him as the governor. And I want to read a section of that for you from Nahjul Balagha so that you understand the teachings of Ahlul Bayt when it comes to the practice of deen and when it comes to knowing who muttaqi are. So here he says, wa'alamu ibadallah. He says, know, O servants of Allah, annal muttaqina dhahabu bi'ajil ad-dunya wa ajil al-akhirah fasharaku ahl ad-dunya fi dunyahum. He says that the muttaqi people, those who are pious, muttaqi people, he's talking about them. He's saying that they left this world and they are going to the hereafter. He says, فَشَارَكُوا أَهْلَ الدُّنْيَا فِي دُنْيَاهُمْ. But when they were in dunya, they shared the dunya with the Ahl al-Dunya, with the people of dunya. They were sharing the dunya with them. They were not like leaving the dunya or going away from it or isolating themselves from dunya. No, they shared the dunya with the people of dunya. وَلَمْ يُشَارِكْهُمْ أَهْلُ الدُّنْيَا فِي آخِرَتِهِمْ. But the people of dunya are not going to share their akhirat. In other words, he is giving a relationship. He's saying that the muttaqi, the pious people, they share dunya with the people of dunya, just like them. They are just like them in dunya. But in akhirat, the people of dunya are not going to share their life. They are going to be different. They are going to be completely different than that. So now what happens? A lot of times people think that, being pious means leaving enjoyment. Allah says in the Quran, قُلْ مَنْ حَرَّمَ زِينَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي أَخْرَجَ لِعِبَادِهِ. Who has made the things Allah made enjoyable for you haram? Who made those things haram? He's asking the question. I didn't make it haram. Who made it haram for you to enjoy the things that Allah has given you? Look at this, how Allah is explaining this in the Quran. Now let me get back to Imam Ali and explain that. Then Imam Ali goes on to explain the qualities of the pious people. Listen to this carefully. Imam Ali is talking about muttaqi people. Who are the muttaqi people? He's talking about it in Nahj Balagha, explaining it. Understand this very carefully, and from there, inshallah, we will go forward. Let's send the salawats. Now obviously, again, I don't know, how many of you have read this, but it is, something that when you look at it, it's like strange. Because it goes against everything that, you have heard from, people, right? About muttaqi people. Just imagine what you think of a pious person. Who is a pious person you see? He's the one, for example, who wears the dirtiest clothes in the masjid, right? He is the most unkept, lives in a shabby place, drives a shabby car. Whenever you see a 1990s car come by, you see, mashallah, muttaqi person coming. And you're like, that's the idea, right? Of someone who's really pious. That's the idea behind it. Let's see how Imam Ali describes muttaqi people. The same thing, he's describing it right now. 5 sentences, I will mention this for you. Here it is. سَكَنُ الدُّنْيَا بِأَفْضَلِ مَا سُكِنَتْ. He says, the muttaqi people are known by these qualities, that they have the best houses amongst the people of dunya. Their houses are the best. The best houses and the best places of living are theirs. They choose their houses and they make sure that it's better than everyone else's. First thing, this is a muttaqi person, right? Sakanu dunya bi'afdali ma sukinat. Second, wa akaluha bi'afdali ma ukilat. They eat the best foods. They eat the best foods, the tastiest foods, the most delicious foods. You'll see that they are the ones who enjoy it. They are fond of it, they like eating, and they enjoy the best foods. These are muttaqi people. The qualities of muttaqi according to Imam Ali. Right? Number 2. Number 3. وَلَبِسُوا بِأَفْضَلِ مَا لُبِسُوا. They wear the best clothes. You will see that in dressing, they are up to date in fashion. They wear the best clothes. Everyone will look at them and say, wow, look at their dressing. Look at their clothes. How well dressed they are. Who are these people? Muttaqi people. Alright? Okay. 4th one. وَتَزَوَّجُوا بِأَفْضَلِ مَا تُزَوَّجُوا. He says that they have the best spouses and wives. Right? When other people look at their wives, they are jealous and envious. Yes, So, from the topic yesterday, right? Let's go from there. And here it is, this is how Imam Ali is describing. I'm not the one saying this. And I want you to look at this. It is interesting. Very interesting to note this. This is where tarbiyat takes place, my friends. Look at the words of Imam Ali and how he's describing who are muttaqi people in his instructions to Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr. And the 5th thing, وَرَكَبُوا بِأَفْضَلِ مَا يُرْكَبُونَ. They have the best rides. In our days, they have the best cars. In those days it was horses and camels. Now obviously you're not going to buy a camel and a horse today, right? But they have the best cars, the best rides. You look at their car, now they will choose a car based on the fact that others are going to look at it and are going to be impressed by it. Now you look at that, really, all the ideas that you had of a muttaqi person, compare it to what Imam Ali is teaching. I want you to analyze this and say, what is wrong here? What is wrong here in either the teaching of Imam Ali or my understanding? Where is this discrepancy going to be solved? Because Imam Ali, when we looked at you, you were not like this. You are not like this. But in your instructions, you are saying that muttaqi people are like this. My friends, understand this. Islam here, just to give an answer to this, so that your minds can understand this, right? The practice of Islam and deen is relative, based on the place that you are living, on the area that you're living, amongst the people that you're living. It's based on that. That's where deen is practiced in that way. If you practice the deen that was practiced in Najaf and Qom over here, that will not be taqwa. That will in fact mislead you. You gotta see, these instructions are for the people of Egypt. He says, this is how you recognize a muttaqi person in Egypt. Egypt was a well-to-do, affluent society, much richer than Hijaz and other places in the Muslim world. And hence he's describing taqwa in those places, relative to those places. And hence the practice of Islam is not an absolute practice that is one everywhere. The principles are the same, but the implementation of those principles is different according to the society that you live in. If you practice Islam in the wrong way here, then it misleads you, it takes you down. And this is the problem that many people have of not seeing their relationship grow with Allah. Because they are practicing, they want to do the right thing, but they're doing it in the wrong way, and by doing it in the wrong way, it's not having the desired effect that it's supposed to have. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. You know, just again, as I said, these are things that I want to explain to us so that we understand it in that way. Now I said that I'm going to answer some of these questions I raised here today, so that inshallah it can help us to understand where this is headed towards, right? And I will inshallah do this later. Let me tell you, my friends, how is this so important for us? Really, how is this so important for us? 10 minutes is going to be worth a lot for you, right? The next 10 minutes, right? The way I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to tell you the internal mechanism of how this works and what happens, so that this can be an eye-opener for us and really change the way that we look at things, and then help us to build a relationship with Allah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. You know, having fun and enjoyment is the topic. And why is it important? Let's see. You know, one of the ways that a person, one of the ways that a person reaches Allah and builds his relationship with Allah is by doing shukr. Is by doing shukr. You know, shukran ni'mah. Shukran ni'mah means being grateful for the blessings. And it's natural in us. Whenever someone gives us a gift, naturally we say thank you. Someone gives us a gift, any gift. Could be small or big. If anyone gives it, we feel obligated to say thank you, right? So one of the ways that Allah has built in us to come towards Him is for any man to recognize the blessings that he has in his life. And then if he lives this life of blessings, then he'd one day want to thank the one who gave this to him, right? You want to say thank you. Really, I really want to say thank you for this amazing experience I had. This great life I had. I mean, all of these things I had, I want to say thank you. See, this is one of those things that you see that this thank you and this shukr is so important. Really, it is important like that. But here's the condition of shukr. You know, shukr is only good if you are sincere in your shukr. If you are sincere in your shukr. If you are dishonest in doing shukr, what happens? Then it has the opposite effect. it hurts you more when you are dishonest with it. Sometimes you see that we do shukr just because of good akhlaq, not because we actually mean it. We see that a lot of times, Let me give an example, right? I was coming back home one day and my wife called me and said, you remember it's your son's birthday, right? And I forgot. Forgot it was his birthday, and I was late coming back, and all the stores are closed, so the only store that's open is the dollar store. So I stopped at the dollar store, just not to go back empty-handed, to get him a gift. So what I did is that I bought him a gift, one of those, plastic guns that make noises, noise, like that. Made in China. And so what happened is that, and what else are you going to get at a dollar store, right? So what happened, I got that home and wrapped it in a nice wrapping pack, gift pack and everything. Put that in a gift pack, and I came back to him and I said, and he was excited. I rang the doorbell and he came running to the door. He was excited. I'm coming home. He's expecting a gift from me, right? And he's like jumping up and down with excitement. I take out that gift with a nice wrapper, and obviously he has great expectations of what's going to be inside there. He rips it apart and opens up the case and all these things, and what he finds in there? Yeah, the plastic gun made in China, right? And so what happened is that he looks at that. Now he's a good kid. He's not a bad kid. He's not rude. His akhlaq is very good, well-mannered. So being that the nice kid he is, he looks at that. I see the obvious disappointment in his face, but he doesn't mean it like that, right? He says, Dad, thank you. It's the thought that counts. Now, obviously, it's like he's not happy with the gift, right? He's not happy with the gift. That's why he's saying this, thank you. Thank you. It's the thought that counts. Really. But now let's see this. If he opened that box and found in it the new PS4, would he give the same reaction? Would the reaction be the same? Or is he going to jump up and down and say, Dad, you're the greatest. You're the best dad ever. Right? He obviously, you see, the reaction will be different, right? Because he likes it, he enjoys it. Friends, he would be happy. The reaction would be different. You see, when we look at ourselves and Allah has given us blessings, are we being dishonest or are we being honest? Are we sincere and mean the thank you that we're giving? You see, this is the idea. When you say, Dad, you're the best, what is this? The same way that we say, Allahu Akbar. Allah, you're the best. What does that mean? It means that I'm so happy and I enjoyed your blessing so much that really this thank you is coming from my heart. My friends, shukr has to be sincere, and shukr cannot be sincere unless you enjoy the blessings of Allah. You are being dishonest when you say Allahumma shkur, ashkurullah, and your life is miserable. You're saying that Allah, my life is miserable, I'm going through hardships, my wife divorced me, my kids left me, but thank you anyway. What is that? I mean, that's like an insult. Don't even say that. You see how bad that is? In order to do shukr, you have to be sincere. In order to be sincere, you have to enjoy. If you're not having fun, you're not doing shukr. A person who's not enjoying his life cannot do shukr. Cannot do shukr honestly and sincerely. Wow. Let me take this one step further. Right? My friends, one of the most insulting things you can do to Allah, one of the most insulting things in your relationship with Allah, one of the most insulting things, one of the most offensive things in your relationship with Allah is making dua. Did you know that? Du'as are very offensive to Allah. It is a very insulting thing to ask Allah for something. Now you'll be really thinking, Maulana's gone crazy. What did he smoke today, you know?
Did he smoke something outside?
Some sacred herbs, but no. Salawat. Dua is the most insulting thing, the offensive things that you can do to Allah. You know, it is really wrong for a person to ask Allah for something other than Allah. It is really insulting, right? It's like, for example, you know, you come back home after a long trip, after a long journey to meet your children. You bring back gifts for them. Now, but the child who comes to the door to receive you, the first thing he says, Dad, what do you bring for me? Now, you being a dad, you love him anyway. So you say, hey, you know, I brought this and I brought that. Like, you know, for example, when I came back from Hajj, you know, and my son always asks me, so what do you bring us back? I say, Zamzam. We have it from last year. You know, so obviously, you know, I mean, he asked you for something and you brought him something, and so there you go. You give it to him. You love him, so you don't mind him asking for you for something, right? You don't mind that. But tell me, would it be different for you now if instead of asking for something, he says, Dad, I'm just glad you are back. I missed you. Would that make you feel better? Wouldn't that be something? You see, asking Allah for something other than Allah is like that. Allah loves you anyway. But you know what? To say that Allah, no, I mean, what do I need when I have you? Is something else. But du'as are insulting and offensive. But there's one way of making it right. There's one way of making it right. Understand it very carefully. How you can make du'as correct and right when you make du'a to Allah. What is it? That before you ask Allah for anything, first you thank Him for everything that He has given you. Look at the du'as of Ahlul Bayt. Do you ever see them asking for something at the beginning? Look at Dua Arafat. Look at Dua Kumail. Everything, all the du'as. First is what? Allah, thank you for this. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. First, profusely thank Him for all the things or whatever you can remember that He has given you, and then say, by the way, Allah, if you can give me this also. This, du'as become correct with the adab of du'a. One of the adab of du'a is what? Thanking Allah before you ask. So my friends, du'as are depending on shukr. Shukr is depending on enjoyment and fun. If you don't enjoy the blessings of Allah, neither are you doing shukr, neither can you make dua. What relationship do you have with Allah then? This is why it is so important for us to truly thank Him. You know, we haven't done anything for Allah. He has done everything for us. First, enjoy His blessings. And when you truly enjoy, then you say, you make dua, then you do everything else after that. It becomes from the heart. It will come from the heart. This is how you build a relationship with Allah. I'll explain that more the next time when we come here. But just today, because it is the birthday of Syeda Zainab, Salamullah alayha. You know, who recognizes the blessings that Allah has given her. She enjoyed those blessings that Allah has given her. And that's why when those blessings were given to her, And I'm talking about the blessings that Allah blessed her with. He blessed her with all those blessings, and they came down like a storm. Those blessings came down on Ashura. And when she experienced and felt those blessings and thoroughly enjoyed those blessings, then she came to the body of her brother, Imam Hussein, kneeled down in front of that body, and in all humbleness and humility said, Allahumma taqabbal minna hadal qurban. This is her thanking Allah. Allah, thank you for this. We have enjoyed this blessing of yours. You know, this is a profound ma'rifat that she has. A profound ma'rifat of how relationship is built with Allah. When Allah gives you a blessing, you enjoy it first, and then you say thank you for this. This is, my friends, the way that we build relationship with Allah and with Ahlul Bayt. And she showed us that. This is the example that Allah has set for us. Look at that example and say, wow, first of all, I need to enjoy the blessings Allah has given me thoroughly, so that I can have so much fun that truly I can say, Allah, thank you for this. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and the blessing to be on the right paths, the wisdom to understand His guidance, hasten the reappearance of our Imam, make us His helper when He comes. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Salawat ala Muhammad wa